Hello everyone, welcome back to Tina Teach. Django, URLs, and template is what we're going to be making today, as well as displaying text on browser, seeing the result of all of the work we've done for the previous two lessons as well. First off, let's take a look at creating a URL file. Now, if you go to your Django folder that contains the views.py file, as I've written here, and then you have to activate your virtual environment, okay? You always remember that you do everything with Django in your virtual environment. And let's go back to the folder a little bit. Now that we're in the folder with the views.py file, create a file with this name, create a Python file that's named URL with an S alongside views.py. And within this empty file that we've created, we're going to input from Django. This part is actually just the folder structure, okay? It's not the code that you put in. Now, in the file, you would write from Django.urls import path and all of that. And then remember, there's spacing in between this period. It's not clumped together. And then we have URL patterns, with path members. We're trying to include members, the members folder into this file. Now, next up, we're going to be changing urls.py. So the first urls.py is the one that we've created. There's actually another one that's residing elsewhere, and I'll show you that in the folder structure in a little bit. But for now, just bear with me. Now, in this file that is not the one we've created, this is what we're going to be putting inside of it, okay? The one that we created, urls.py, is only for members. And in here we have from Django, .country import admin from Django, and then URL patterns, all that stuff, including the members into the path. After we've done this step, get out to my first project. If your command prompt is in another folder, and run pymanage.py run server, and then we can see what we've written in the Django lesson number 2, which I think is hello world, if I remember correctly. If we go to the browser with the following address, we should be seeing that text that we did in lesson 2, okay? Now that this is done, let's take a look at templates. So we need to create a templates folder inside of the members folder in the file explorer, okay? And then creating a new HTML file, and I'm gonna name it my first .html. And then within here, it's just very simple. It's nothing too fancy. We just have the doc type, HTML, and then the body tag, and then we have hello world, heading 1 hello world. And that's it. That's all we're gonna do for now. Very simplistic and straightforward. And the next step is modifying our view. Now, if you've gone through all of this already, you may think that this is a little bit too much, but don't worry. This is sort of a one-time thing, and we're just testing things out with very straightforward HTML. We're not doing anything crazy. And once you sort of do this again and again, and changing the settings, changing the view, URLs, and whatnot, you'll be more familiar with it and realize that all these codes are not anything too, astronomical. It's just, connecting things together and referencing different files. Now, in the views.py file, which is something that we've encountered in lesson number 2, we did change it, but now we're going to change it again to include, template loader, and then return HTTP response template render, okay? Now, just briefly look through this code and familiarize yourself a little bit. But once you get to the demonstration part, you can just follow my lead and it'll be no problem at all. Next up is changing the settings. There's a settings.py file within your folder. Just go to that, and in here there's quite a substantial amount of code in here. Navigate to the installed apps code block and add the members app. So all of this you don't need to type. It's already in the file. This is all you need, just members. That's it. Now, to the last part, we're going to change our settings before we take a look at the result of our hard work. In your command prompt, run py manage.py migrate, and then you'll see a bunch of output. After that, you run the server and you check on your browser with this address. So I have my command prompt over here. I'm going to go to Django because it has my virtual world out here. I'm going to copy address as text, cd, right click, enter, and then I'm going to activate my virtual environment, my virtual world in this case, / scripts, activate BAT. And now that we have my virtual world activated, I'm going to go to my first project, copy address as text, right click, and now I'm here. So let's go back to the File Explorer, and I'm going to go to members because we have the views.py file over here, create a new Python file, URLs with the py, yes, modify this. I'm going to use my visual code to modify this. Let's go with from Django URLs import path, and then from import views. Okay, URL patterns and path members views members name is also members. Okay, Ctrl S to save. Let's close this for now. Since this is only for the members folder, I'm gonna go out here to my first project. We have a second URLs.py. Let's modify this. So I've deleted everything that's after the comment, and I'm gonna replace that with from Django contrib import admin. Then let me just scroll down and resize this a little bit. URL patterns. Path. Then let's get out of here. Include members dot URLs, comma. Let's go down here. Path admin / admin site URLs. Okay, don't forget the comma after this. Ctrl S to save, and we're going to run our server. Py manage.py run server. So we have hello world. Remember to go with this address, okay? Then we have hello world, so all of our code worked. Now I'm going to minimize this. Let's work on the next part of our lesson, which is templates. I'm going to go back to File Explorer, go to members, and create a new folder called templates. Let's create an HTML file in this text, right? My first .html. Yes. Let's modify this with, for me, Visual Studio Code. And I'm going to type in the following. It's just basic HTML code. HTML, body, h1, hello, world. And P, this is my first project. Okay, let's close the body, close the HTML, and that's all we're going to work on for today. I'm going to close this, and let's modify the views. Let's search for the views, okay, this one. So this is what we had in the views previously for our browser to display hello world. Now I'm going to replace all of this with from Django HTTP import HTTP response, from Django template import loader members request passing in, then template equals to loader get template my first HTML, the file that we just created and modified, return HTTP response template render. Remember to save, and let's close this for now. We're gonna go to my first project and we're gonna modify settings. And we're gonna look for installed apps. We're not gonna change anything much, just looking for it over here, installed app, and then add members. Now, that's it for the settings file. That's all you need to do. Let's close it. And then go back to the command prompt. Let's stop the server for a bit. Pi manage migrate. For you, it should show something like operations to perform and running migrations, and it'll apply a lot of the migrations. For me, I have nothing because I've already tested this and I've applied it already. Now, all we need to do is to run our server, okay? Or pi in this case, manage.py run server. And if you restart the browser, it should say, hello world, this is my first project, exactly as our HTML file. Now, thank you for watching until the end. I really appreciate it. Our next topic is going to be about models. So don't forget to tune in. Learn today, better tomorrow. Remember to like, comment, and subscribe, and have a wonderful day.